Okay, I've got my barrel laid in here. I've got the front lined up to where I want it. And now we're going to draw the profile of the barrel on top of the stock. And how I do that is pretty simple. You're not really worried about the sides of the inlet yet. So what I do is I take a pencil, mechanical pencil, and I look straight down the side of the barrel and start drawing a line. I put my pencil in there and just kind of tilt it back this way a little bit so the tip goes under the barrel just a little, and start drawing a line on there. And I want it in a little bit so when I cut to that line I've got a little bit of extra wood that I can take out to the sides of the barrel. Be careful that your barrel doesn't move on you. And the same on the other side. Kind of sight down the edge of the barrel and draw your line inwards towards the center of the barrel a little. Daggone it, I got hooked on my vise. Alright, there's our profile. A lot of people think on a muzzleloader is like a modern gun that, you know, the barrel's got to be very snug in the stock, and that's not true. From your ramrod entry point back here forwards, this stock is only carrying the ramrod. It is not carrying the barrel. So your barrel inlet, a lot of them, the originals, were inlet round, even with an octagon barrel. But so on this one, what I do is I don't worry about the inlet being perfect to the barrel, only on the sides, so that it appears very snug. But you want your barrel to kind of just float in there very loose. Not so much that the wood's really loose on the barrel, so it, you know, moves when you're grabbing it or whatever. But the only important part of a barrel inlet on a muzzleloader is about this much right here. Not the only important part of the inlet, from the front of the lock bolt back to the breech, and that's really it. The rest of it forwards isn't too important, except for the sides. So we're gonna start roughing this thing in there. What I like to use, I have a nice, I don't use power tools. I'm kind of old school, I guess. I have a nice roughing gouge here that I use this for octagon barrels too, just to rough it in and kind of beat it down there, and I just stay within my lines and get it roughed in. So that's what we'll do next. Okay. The reason I keep flipping this gun stock back and forth is because of the way the grain is running in it. I can be cutting this way and it'll start to chip out a little bit and peel up and start to split. I want to cut with the grain, so sometimes you're cutting this way and it'll start to split out or whatever, come back this direction and cut into it this way. And that's what I'm having to do on this. The grain is running out all crazy on this thing. I about got this groove roughed out. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going on coffee break. Okay, I've pretty much got this barrel channel all roughed out with the 3/4 inch round gouge. What I'll do next is I'll lay the barrel back in there. I'm gonna erase my lines that I put on there for my profile of the barrel, because they were just reference lines. I've taken the edge of the groove pretty much within about 1/16 of an inch of those lines I put on there, as you can see right there. I'm going to erase those and set my barrel back in there and redo those lines. They'll be a little bit closer to the final profile of the barrel, since the barrel will be sitting down in a little bit farther. I keep doing that as I'm inletting the barrel. That way I can get my sides really close. So that's what we'll do next. Alright, I've got my new lines drawn on there. You can see I need to remove a little bit of wood on the sides there. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this 5/8 chisel and I'm going to stab in along my line there all the way up and down this. This will keep that top edge from chipping out on you, and you'll have a bad spot on your finished rifle. So I'm going to stab those in, and then I'll take my gouge and go out to those stabbed in lines. Here's a spot right here that I'll put a little X on there because I need to watch out for that spot. It started to chip out on me a little bit, so that's why I'm gonna stab these in. And also, you've probably been wondering why I'm leaving all this material on this stack. It's really because I'm not totally set on the profile of this yet, so I like to draw it on the stock, and I kind of look at it as I'm inletting this barrel, maybe, you know, see something I need to change or something, or I can make a little better. So before too long I'm going to cut this profile out, because it's a really heavy piece of wood to be flipping around all the time in the vise. So that's what's next. Okay, I've got the barrel inlet to our profile lines there. Cut the sides down right up to my line that I stabbed in. Since this is a round barrel, mostly round barrel, I've stabbed these in at an angle, not straight down, but more of an angle this ways, and not very deep at all. You do have to be careful when you're stabbing these in with the chisels that it doesn't split out into the stock out here. You don't want to go very deep at all initially, because it can split out. Starting to see some of the curl in this stock here. There's quite a bit down here, but a trick I've come up with for down here to keep this corner right here intact while you're chiseling this out. You know, sometimes you've got to get in here with the chisel and kind of scrape like this, and you'll try to use that corner as a leverage point. Well, I take a little piece of sheet metal, bend it over in your vise, and just set it in there, and you can use your chisel against that sheet metal and keep your corner intact there. So that's just a little trick that I've come up with. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the barrel, and we're going to work on inletting it down farther, deeper into the stock to get down to our line here that we've drawn on here for the profile of it. We can use this hole now as a gauge to gauge the depth of the bottom of our barrel in relation to the ramrod hole. We want just enough for the front lock bolt, maybe even a little less, because our ramrod is going to be tapered. So this is a 5/16 hole. Our ramrod is going to be about 3/16 here, so we can run this down a little bit farther, our barrel down a little bit deeper, to kind of narrow the gun up right in here. But that's a little later on. What I'm going to do now is we need to mark this barrel with, you can use inletting black or your wife's lipstick. They don't really like that, but I just use a Sharpie marker, the biggest one you can find, and just mark all over the bottom of the barrel, every little inch of it on the bottom of it, and we'll tap it down into the channel here, and it'll mark on this stock where we need to remove wood. So that's what's next.